Alright fight fans, buckle up because the MMA world has just been shaken with brand new footage that no one saw coming. Magomed Ankalaev and Alex Pereira, two of the most dangerous men in the UFC, finally came face to face at the Performance Institute. And let's just say it wasn't pretty. Tempers flared, words were exchanged, and for a moment, it looked like fists might fly. But that's only the beginning of today's madness. Because while Ankalaev and Pereira nearly came to blows, Daniel Cormier is weighing in on Conor McGregor's jaw-dropping demands for a potential UFC White House event. Yes, you heard that right, Conor is back making headlines, and his list of conditions might just be the most outrageous yet. Before we get into the wild details of McGregor's $100 million ultimatum, let's start with the confrontation that has everyone talking. On Thursday, footage surfaced of Magomed Ankalaev squaring up with UFC light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira inside the UFC Performance Institute. The clip quickly went viral, showing Ankalaev visibly angry, pointing to the floor, and seemingly trying to push for a physical showdown right then and there. Pereira, never one to back down, later responded with his own short clip.
Somos profissionais, respeito você, mas dia 4 de outubro eu vou bater em você. Vou bater de mão aberta na sua cara.
In it, he appeared to be reading out one of Ankalaev's own tweets right to his face. So what led to this boiling point? To understand it, we've got to rewind. Magomed Ankalaev, the Russian powerhouse, has been one of the UFC's most consistent light heavyweights. With a professional record of 18 wins, just one loss, and one draw, his resume is stacked with victories over names like Anthony Smith, Thiago Santos, and Volkan Oezdemir. The only blemishes? A controversial split draw against Jan Blachowicz in a fight many thought Ankalaev clearly won, and a flash knockout loss years ago in his UFC debut. Since then, he's been laser-focused on claiming championship gold. On the other side, Alex Pereira's story is straight out of a combat sports movie. A former two-division Glory kickboxing champion, Pereira entered the UFC in 2021 with one goal: taking out Israel Adesanya. And he did just that, not once, but twice across combat sports, shocking the MMA world by capturing the middleweight crown. But Pereira didn't stop there. He moved up to light heavyweight and knocked out Jan Blachowicz before dethroning Yuri Prochaska to claim the 205-pound strap. In just a handful of fights, Pereira has become one of the UFC's biggest stars, known for his devastating left hook and icy stare. The tension between Ankalaev and Pereira has been simmering ever since Ankalaev publicly criticized Pereira's quick rise through the division. Ankalaev has long argued that he deserved the title shot before Pereira ever moved up, and after watching Pereira become champion, his frustration only grew. The new footage at the PI was the spark that lit the fire. Ankalaev later addressed the media to explain his side of the confrontation. He revealed that the feud actually started when Pereira claimed Ankalaev was hiding from him at the UFC Performance Institute, a claim Ankalaev insists was a complete lie. Ankalaev made it clear that while he once respected Pereira as both a fighter and a man, that respect is now gone. For him, Pereira crossed a line when he fabricated the story about him hiding. In Ankalaev's words, "Trash talk is one thing, but lying is unforgivable." This is where things get interesting. The UFC light heavyweight division has been in flux ever since Jon Jones vacated the belt. With names like Yuri Prochaska, Jan Blachowicz, and Jamal Hill all in the mix, Ankalaev's path to gold has been stalled by politics and matchmaking. But now, with Pereira at the top, the UFC may have stumbled into a natural rivalry, one with all the ingredients of a pay-per-view main event. Just imagine it. Pereira, the knockout artist who thrives in chaos, against Ankalaev, the calm but ruthless technician who believes he's been overlooked. The PI confrontation might not have ended in fists flying, but it planted the seed for what could be one of the biggest fights of 2025. And speaking of big headlines, let's switch gears to the man who refuses to stay out of the spotlight, Conor McGregor. Conor took to X this week to announce his demands for a potential fight at the highly rumored UFC White House event. And in classic McGregor fashion, he went big. According to his post, McGregor wants not only $100 million to compete, but also 100 US golden visas for himself, his family, and his friends. As if that wasn't enough, McGregor doubled down, claiming he's been hitting harder than ever in training, with his shots whistling through the air like rockets. He even dropped a new training clip to prove it. Now, we've seen Conor make outrageous demands before. Remember the Floyd Mayweather boxing match in 2017? People laughed at the idea until it became the second biggest pay-per-view in combat sports history. This latest request might seem impossible, but with McGregor, nothing is ever truly off the table. Daniel Cormier had plenty to say about it on his show Good Guy, Bad Guy. DC emphasized that while many fighters get compared to McGregor, nobody truly matches his star power. He did admit that Ilia Topuria might be the closest in terms of hype, but Conor stands alone when it comes to influence. DC also broke down the math behind Conor's demand, pointing out that golden visas are valued at roughly $1 million each. In other words, McGregor is essentially asking for $200 million in total compensation to fight at the White House.
And he wants 100 golden visas. Remember the president was talking about golden visas the other day? He wants 100 of those for his family and friends, and he wants $100 million. So Conor's essentially saying, well, we're saying everybody wants on the White House, Conor's saying, no, you need me on the White House, and you're going to pay to get me on the White House. Like, come on, chill. $100 million and 100 golden visas? He's essentially asking for $200 million. Because the golden visa is $1 million apiece. He wants $200 million to do something that 745 people would do for free.
It's the kind of headline only Conor can create. Whether or not the UFC or government officials even entertain the idea, one thing is certain: McGregor knows how to keep his name in the news cycle. So, where does this leave us? On one hand, you have Ankalaev and Pereira escalating a personal feud that could reshape the light heavyweight division. On the other, you have Conor McGregor once again proving that no matter how much time passes, he can dominate MMA headlines with a single post. So now we turn it over to you. What do you make of Ankalaev and Pereira's heated confrontation? And as for McGregor, are his demands a brilliant negotiation tactic, or is he simply pricing himself out of the fight game for good? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to hit like if you enjoyed the breakdown, and subscribe for all the latest updates from the world of MMA. Because if this week has taught us anything, it's that in this sport the chaos never sleeps.